a lot of those inner children, they're not healed. So I want adults to, take a step back and think about that, because we want to teach our kids about self-love and, self-worth. But if we don't feel that for ourselves, we really can't teach that to our children.
Hello, everyone. This is Andre Barad with the Yes to Real Estate podcast. Super excited to have you here today. We have an amazing guest, amazing information ready to share with you. Big shout out to my lovely wife, Joanne Barad. Thank you so much for your partnership and believing in the vision. And this wouldn't happen without you. Also, Chase Barad and Skylar Barad, thank you for your support. Big thank you to YRD. I'm the first vice president. It's the Young Realtors Division. And our goal and aim is to edify and to educate teens about real estate investing and how important it is to start young. Also, big shout out to CR Elite, leadership of Rayvon and Janelle. That's the brokerage that I'm under. And we are on pace, the team and I, to do $30 million in transaction, Magda.
That's amazing.
Yes. So thank you to the team. The team consists of Voss, Jenny, and Michael, the marketing team. Also, Diamond, the transaction coordinator, and also the GC for the new construction. A big thank you to Mariah. She's our buyer's agent. And also our partners with Javon Krause and Ashley Green with Rush Green Properties. These are the partners that I do, flipping and things with as well. So thank you, partners, for that as well. So here we are today. Want to introduce you to the one and only, to the millions of people watching, Magda Delgado. How are you, Magda?
I'm good. Thank you so much for having me. I'm excited to be here.
Awesome. How does it feel to be here today?
It feels good. A little nerve-wracking, but good.
You're a pro. You are a pro. I've seen you online. All right. I'm still trying to get up to 300 likes. You're already in the thousands and stuff. So super excited to have you here. Going into what we're going to talk about today, I always like to break down how we met and the reason behind the thing, because I realize once you understand why, then you can understand why people do certain things. Would you agree?
Absolutely.
Would you share with the millions of people watching, how did we meet?
So we met back in April when I had come down for Market Mondays Live in Houston. So it was my first time coming to Houston. And we actually met, I believe we were looking at some of your properties. So I went along with Janet and I was like, I'm going to just take pictures in the background. I'm really not doing anything with real estate right now, but I'm like, I'll just be there, as support. And it was just so inspiring to see all the properties and then to meet your staff, hear their stories. And I think the most inspiring part about it was it's normal people, look like me, people who come from humble beginnings and they're just achieving so much. So it was just incredible to watch.
Yes. Amazing. I remember that. I believe you came to the new construction, Jan and yourself. And I think we were just working on the foundation, right?
Correct.
It was nothing else, maybe bricks or things like that. And I remember you taking pictures and you walking in. And we had a great conversation. Shout out to Ashley. Diamond was there. And we had a conversation about just being mentally prepared for the next level and the challenges we faces. And it was amazing to have that conversation. So
absolutely,
we are excited to have you here again.
Thank you. I'm excited to be here.
So tell the people more about yourself. Who is Magda? Who is the great Magda?
So my name is Magda Delgado. So I was actually born in Cape Verde, immigrated to Rhode Island at the age of 4. And I've always been really into writing. I used to write poetry and little, short stories ever since I could remember. And that's just always been my thing. It was kind of my escape when I was younger. I have 3 boys, ages 15, 8, and 2. I had to think about it for a
15,
second.
8, and 2. Let's give them a shout out.
Yes, shout out to Giovanni, Jaden, and Jaylani. I love them so much. They're truly just my inspiration for everything that I do. And of course, shout out to my husband, Danny. He's holding down the fort right now.
Shout out, Danny. I still love all the strong men out there, Danny.
Yes.
Awesome. So you say you used to write poetry, right? Was it just poetry about everyday life or love or what type?
I actually started writing poetry at a very young age. I think it was around when I was about 11 years old, which is crazy to think about now. But I actually went through probably one of the most traumatic events in my life at the age of 11. So it was kind of my safe place. So I'd write all my feelings, and I'd turn it into poetry. I turn it into stories and really get lost into it. So I think that's the beauty of it with writing. You can journal, but you also can turn it into something that you get excited about.
Wow. So at 11, you was writing. Would you have imagined that you would be at the level and the stage you are now at the age of 11?
Definitely not. Definitely not.
Would you say you writing poetry at 11 helped prepare for your destiny that you're walking into now?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yes.
Awesome. So it's tied right into why we are here today.
Yes.
My Name is King.
Yes.
Why this book?
So at first,
for the millions of people watching.
Yes.
Yeah.
So at first I thought my first book would be like a memoir or something like that. I always said, that's the first book I'm gonna come out with. But I never thought my first book would be a children's book, but having 3 sons, I thought it was really important to showcase them in a positive light. We see such negative depictions of Black boys. So I thought it was so empowering to have something that speaks on them. And, you see a little boy on the cover because we do see a lot that's marketed toward younger girls, but I think we need to also pour love back into our boys as well.
Wow. It's amazing because I ordered several of the books. And I remember taking this book home and I was reading it to Chase. I read it to Scholar too, but I'm definitely reading it to Chase. And I remember Chase looking at the book, and then we was in front of the mirror, right? So he was looking at the book, and then he was looking at himself in the mirror. So he was looking at himself in the mirror, he was looking at the book. And you know what he said?
What did he say?
He said, "Dad, this is like me."
Oh, I love it. It really warms my heart. I love it.
Right? So when he said that to me, it was so powerful because I didn't have to tell him.
Yes.
I didn't have to say this book is for you. He was able to see himself in a different light and on a book.
Yes.
Right. So I want to personally say thank you for writing this for Chase.
Thank you.
Right. So thank you so much for writing this. So it's truly amazing. My Name is King. Can you tell us the development of this book?
Absolutely. So the story behind it, it's actually based on a personal experience I had with my oldest son. So I believe he was in about, I think it was kindergarten. So I tried, he was my first child. I'm like, okay, how do I navigate this? I try to kind of keep him in a bubble. Because I experienced a lot of racism and colorism growing up. But I figured if I kept him in a bubble, I'm going to just keep him away from it. But obviously that's not the case. That's not how the world works.
Right.
So he came home one day and said, Mommy, a kid at school said that my skin was dirty. And he said, your skin is black. I don't like it, and he felt really bad about himself.
Wow.
And so I was basically forced into having the conversation with him because I chose not to have it earlier. So I really wanted to touch on that and develop a story that is a friendly story. It's a children's story, but it also pushed parents to have those conversations with their children. Because a lot of times we don't know what kids go through. Like even me at 11, a lot of people didn't realize all the things I was facing at 11 years old. So I thought it was really important for it to, pave the way for parents to have those sensitive conversations in, a kid-friendly way.
Yes. Wow, this is amazing. This episode brought to you by Miller Title with Tori Brown. If you're looking for an expert title company who understands tough files and the easy ones, look no further than Miller Title with Tori Brown. Also, this episode brought to you by J-Ass Home Inspection with J-Ass. If you're looking for an expert inspector who can go through the crannies of the home with detailed information, who will break down exactly what is wrong and what's good with the home, look no further than J-Ass Home Inspections. Now let's get back to cultivating community. Yes. What would you say is the lesson that you want the readers to learn from this book?
So this book, the main lesson is all about self-love. So, it teaches kids how to start their affirmations and also for parents to start that routine with their children.
Yeah.
And what I want people to take away from this book is that, to pour into themselves, to focus on self-love.
Yeah.
And although it is a children's book, I feel like it really reaches out to the adults as well.
Absolutely.
Because we all have that inner child within us.
Yeah.
A lot of those inner children are not healed.
Yes.
So I want to also,
whoa. Say that last part again.
A lot of those
that was a gem. Look, for the millions of people who's watching, hear this again.
So a lot of those inner children, they're not healed. So I want adults to, take a step back and think about that, because we want to teach our kids about self-love and self-worth. But if we don't feel that for ourselves, we really can't teach that to our children.
Wow. Let me read this page here that was very crucial for me. It says, now is the time for you to write your affirmations. I want you to read them to yourself out loud every day in the mirror. Right? Remind yourself that you are perfect the way you are, and only your opinion of yourself matters.
Yes.
Can you explain that?
So that's actually something that I say a lot to, especially with my middle son, because I did that differently. I was like, because of the fact that I had to experience what I did with my oldest, I said, all right, let's take a different route with my middle one.
Yeah.
So it's a saying that he takes with him to school. So if he gets picked on or anything like that, I say, all right, Jaden, what do you say if someone's making fun of you at school? What do you say? He says, their opinion of me is not my business. So he takes that with him. And let me tell you, their opinion of me is not my business.
Wow, that's amazing. Yes. That is truly amazing. And it says here, only your opinion of yourself matters, my mom proclaimed loudly as she pulled me in for a tighter hug. Now hurry on and go work on this, King. This is your homework for tonight, she chuckled. I gave her a warmer hug and thanked her for the homework I look forward to doing.
Yes.
So this part, is this a conversation that you had with your son?
Absolutely. So I'm, very big on practice what you preach, So my kids, they journal, they work on the affirmations. My middle one, he has it all over his mirror, just like he has in the book. Yeah. He's actually the one on the cover. So that's my middle son on the cover. And boy, does he love looking at that cover. Loves looking at the picture of himself. So it's so empowering for him. Yeah. Absolutely.
Awesome. So we just had a big event with the Yes to Real Estate field trip. Did you have a great time at the field trip?
I did. It was amazing.
Awesome. And the great thing about it, how many copies did you bring to the Yes to Real Estate field trip?
100.
100. Mm-hmm. And guess what? We sold out all 100 copies. How did you feel about that?
So amazing. Yeah. It's just phenomenal. It's such a great feeling.
Yes. Were you shocked when we sold out the 100 copies to the people who came to the field trip?
I was shocked, emotional, and empowered.
Yes. So big thank you to everyone who came to the Yes to Real Estate field trip, and Magda, my name is King book sold out. 100 copies she came with, and all of them sold out. Thanks to you, to the people who came out and support the Yes to Real Estate field trip. So Magda, Let's go dive in deep about achieving goals. Well, what are your thoughts about that?
So that is a big thing for me. One thing I've always struggled with for a very long time is self-sabotage.
Yeah.
So I look at self-sabotage as literally a person who's like standing probably on your neck when you're over here trying to achieve everything you're trying to achieve. Whether you purposely you're late for an important meeting. Yeah. You have an opportunity and you talk yourself out of it. So that's something I struggle with all the time. And I had to figure out, after working on myself, working on the self-love journey, that a lot of it was, it was effect of trauma. Yeah. It's a traumatic response. And we don't realize that. We just blame ourselves, like, why am I doing this? I'm getting this blessing, but then I'm behaving this way. Why is it? But a lot of it all goes back to things that you've experienced in your life. So, I want to empower people to really, dive deep into it. Really work on your self-love journey, because it's important. And once you start to realize that you are worthy of achieving these goals, it will start to happen.
Wow. That's amazing. Magda, my name is King. We have this wonderful book here, everyone. How did you come up with like the title? What do king represent?
So I actually used it metaphorically. The character, his name is King, but a lot of people thought my son's name is actually King, and it's not.
Yeah.
So we basically used that as a metaphorical way for I wanted all black and brown boys to see themselves on this cover, see themselves as a king. You know, because they turn on the TV, all they're seeing is men portrayed in a bad way, as thugs, as criminals, and everything like that. Instead, you have this beautiful, bright, colorful cover, and there you are as a king.
Wow, I love it. Because I remember reading this book to Chase, and he's looking at the crown, and he's looking at himself in this book.
Yes.
It helped me to have a better conversation with my son about him being a king, right? And to see it from a different perspective to where he's able to read it.
Absolutely.
So thank you so much for this book.
And one thing I actually wanted to add to that, which I can't believe I didn't add, this is actually co-illustrated by my oldest son, my 15-year-old son.
Whoa.
So that was huge to me because he's 15 years old.
What's his name again?
His name is Giovanni.
Giovanni, co-illustrated it.
Co-illustrated. So he's officially a published illustrator.
Yes.
Yes.
So how important, so what role did he play? So is he the one who came up with the pictures and everything?
So basically, when I came up with the idea of the book, I pretty much sketched everything out, and then he just drew all the backgrounds and everything for me. So all the backgrounds for the entire book, he's the one that drew it. Wow. And then my publisher, he's the one that did the actual characters.
Wow. So not only did you write the book, you brought your sons into being involved with it.
Yes. So
they can have advice on what to add to it.
Absolutely.
And that's one of the best ways to learn.
Yes.
Wow. Shout out to your kids.
Yes.
That's super, super amazing.
Yes.
Wow, that's amazing. Thank you so much for that. So Magda, what is the one thing you want to share with the millions of people who's watching right now? What is that one thing that you want to leave to the people?
The one thing that I'd really like to leave for people is that you are not your past. You are not your trauma. You are not what you've been through. Because if we just sat here and just, if we continue to wear the mask that's made of all the painful memories that we've been through, all the negative things that you've heard, you're wearing a mask that's not yours. Your story is yours and yours alone for you to tell. So make the story what you want it to be. Don't allow others to create it for you.
You are not your past.
I am not my past.
Wow. Amazing.
Thank you so much.
Amazing. Thank you so much, Magda, for everything. Thank you for being here. Thank you for selling out your books at the Yes to Real Estate Fair trip.
Thank you for having me.
The people who bought it, their life would never be the same. And their kid, you are affecting generation upon generation to come.
Thank you.
Whoever read this book would never be the same. My son is not the same. I'm not the same.
Thank you.
So thank you so much.
Appreciate that.
Want to thank everyone for joining the Yes to Real Estate podcast today. It's truly amazing to understand that you can read a book that can change and transform your way of thinking for you and the next generation to come. We want to say thank you for yes to being a king.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Thank you for saying yes to the process. Thank you for understanding that, yes, we are progressing and that you are not your past.
Amen.
That you can change your future. Thank you for saying yes to strong young men.
Yes.
And thank you for saying yes to real estate. See you at the top.
Bye.
Hello, everyone. This is Andre Barra with the Yes to Real Estate podcast. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe and like and check out our other episodes right here on the Community Cultivator Network and the Yes to Real Estate podcast. See you at the top.